Hello.
Hey,
Thank you for joining me. I'm trying to take my mask off right now. It's just me in here. So, how are you doing?
good. How are you? I was just listening to you as the screen was loading, talking about the ups and downs, and the different spells as you well put it. And I feel the same way for sure. Some days, I'm super dark right now. That's crazy, but I guess that's kind of mysterious, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of weird positives that have come out of this, as silly as that seems to say at times. But one thing is like you said, learning new ways to deal with adversity. In the I can't believe how dark I look. Let me go turn on this one light. Worse.
It's a little bit better.
Usually the sun beams through this window, but I guess this will be like kind of unique, right?
Yeah.
I look like Vader, with an A hat on. So, anyways, yeah, it's been nice to talk to different people and ask how they're dealing with it, and try to figure out, what are different tools. So I would love to know from you, how do you deal with the fear and anxiety of the unknown when you feel a sense of panic, or read terrifying news, or accidentally check your email and see some crazy statistic that you weren't looking for.
I've been talking to my family a lot. We're kind of all over the place. We're kind of all over the country. My brother just waved in this chat. Hi, Brandon.
Cool.
So everybody is all over the place, different parts of the country. And what has been toughest on me is knowing that we can't leave where we are and go see each other. I have a niece who's like 8 months old now, and that's been really tough, not being able to see her grow up. But
Yeah.
at least we do have stuff like this. We can connect with people like this, and so that does help.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like the music community is in my experience at least, dropping. There's a lot of walls and barriers that are being dropped and punched through in a lot of ways to connect. At least for me, I've never spoken to so many other artists on my Instagram feed like this before. So I've been doing it each day at noon. This week, with the record coming out, I've focused more on talking to radio folks and stuff. And I'm gonna jump back into it next week again and talking to other artists. And it's been helpful for me to pick their brain and learn different things from them, because I certainly don't have the answers. I'm just trying to figure it out just like everybody else. And it's been mostly inspiring and motivating to see how open people are to talk. A couple people have said no, of course, but I keep trying. That's the thing. Like, when you're single and you're thinking, man, I want to go talk to that person, but you're terrified. The worst that could happen is they just say no, right? So,
right. Are you going to do a song for us today?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have this nettle. I get really bad allergies this time of year in California, so I drink this nettle powder. So let me just finish this.
Oh no, you're good. We can talk about stuff for a little bit. Actually, there's a lot I want to dive into with the new album. When I watched The Best for the first time, it ended, and I was like, is this going to continue? Is this the beginning of the saga? And then we had a couple of music videos, and then when Slam was released, it seemed like it really picked up from there. Can you kind of talk about like the concept around the album and the music videos going along with it so far?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking, and thanks for checking out the videos. I wanted to create something that could be more than just me as an artist or my band, because there's plenty of bands, there's plenty of artists, and so I wanted to create other characters that people could identify with and have fun with, because these are very, very personal and extremely heavy subject matters, and a lot of stuff I'm talking about, whether it's facing evil or depression or darkness or stuff surrounding. And for me, it was the California Woolsey fires that started this journey of these characters. And then I wanted to identify what evil was, so I created characters in two different groups to represent both sides of light and dark. And and on a lighthearted note, being such a huge fan of heavy metal growing up and hip hop, but especially in metal, these bands like Iron Maiden would have their mascots like Eddie. Everybody knows this big Eddie character that would come around. I always thought that was fun and cool. And these were the things that I would draw on my folder when people, I don't know if kids have folders anymore, but I used to have them, and I draw on them, right? Or draw like, the Slayer logo or the Metallica logo or certain hardcore bands or punk bands I liked, and so I wanted to create more content for people to share and make their own. And so many of our fans who are here watching right now have contributed as well and made their own versions of some of these characters. So it's been fun, you know. It's also a way for me to hide a little bit and not have to have all the focus on and a bright light in my face at all times, which is difficult. And right now there's literally no light on my face in this feed. So I'm having a great time, you know. You know, on the first record, we had the spaceman mascot that everybody identified with. He was kind of this, he was always on the search for other information and enlightenment and illumination, I should say. But he was kind of a happy-go-lucky guy that failed a lot, you know, the spaceman. And he was kind of, you could relate to him. He was sort of clumsy. But he did have some sort of understanding of an alternate sci-fi world, you know. And then on the second record, it was kind of part two of the first album in Run. There weren't really many characters. That was more of my way of grappling with and understanding the success of the first record and how and certain personal relationship issues I'd gone through. So definitely maybe a darker record. And then Runts, the mascots were the Runts and sort of the underdog and trying to figure that out and you know, address some of the stuff I'd gone through in those sort of ways, and scratching and clawing my way to be heard musically. And so now with this record, it felt like a restart to me after going through the fires, and I wanted to create a whole new chapter to this story that has now been almost 10 years. It's been crazy. So is Bonnie here? I hope she's still here. I meant to not to steal your stream right now, but
oh, you're good.
It was her birthday yesterday, and I wanted to personally say happy birthday to her. I completely flailed because I'm doing so many things right now, but happy birthday, Bonnie. And I really
Is this her? AWOLNATION.an?
Cool. It is. Her name's Bonnie, but this is, and I also requested Bonnie personally, and I wanted to write her late last night. Well, it was late for her because she's in the Netherlands. I actually met her one morning when I just woken up and I didn't even know what was up or down, and she was right there. And so I definitely felt like it wasn't my best foot forward in that moment. But anyways, it was good to meet her. And I requested her personal page, but so here we are now. There we go. So happy birthday, Bonnie.
Happy birthday, Bonnie.
There you go. So you get two
that
people.
That means the world so much. Oh, that's awesome. Well, do you wanna play a song for us?
Yeah, sure. I'll do the best. It's going to be very quite different, you know. But okay, so here we go. I'm hardly perfect, I'm barely good, just shy of greatness. I'm heavy metal and Hollywood, just shy of patience. Ooh. Me, I wanna walk a little bit taller on me, I wanna feel a little bit stronger on me, I wanna think a little bit smart to say it, I just wanna be the best. Me, I wanna walk a little bit taller on me, I wanna feel a little bit stronger on me, I wanna think a little bit smart to say it, I just wanna be the best. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I just wanna be the ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I just wanna be the oh, doctor, doctor, I have no clue. I'm modern beauty. Ooh, ooh. So fix my face up with diet glue in science fiction. Ooh. Me, I wanna walk a little bit taller on me. I wanna feel a little little bit stronger on me. I wanna think a little bit smart to say it. I just wanna be the best. Me, I wanna walk a little bit taller on me. I wanna feel a little bit stronger on me. I wanna think a little bit smart to say it. I just wanna be the best. Ooh. Stronger on me, I wanna think a little bit smart to say it. I just wanna be the best. Me, I wanna walk a little bit taller on me. I wanna feel a little bit stronger on me. I wanna think a little bit smart to say it. I just wanna be the best. Ooh, 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 ooh. I just wanna be the best. Ooh, 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 ooh. I just wanna be the best.
Very nice. Love it.
It's difficult to do.
Well, that was amazing. I'm really excited about the album on Friday.
Thank you.
Been a really big fan since the beginning. So before I let you go, do you have anything else, any other advice for people during this time?
You have to find a way to look at the glass half full, you know. I mean, so if you turn on the news and you get blasted with vulgar bad news, you know, whatever that is, or accidentally again see big red wording, you know, it says breaking news and it's something really scary, really terrifying, really bad. We feel this need and urge to sort of find out what that is, but it doesn't necessarily change your life, you know. And you can turn off the TV. You could put your phone down and call a loved one, you know. And at least here, you know, anytime there's some sort of new law or new recommendation, we're notified on our phone, or someone else will tell me, you know. So I try my best to keep what's in front of me as real as possible, and not consume an unhealthy amount of bad news, because it's only really bad. It's only been bad news consistently. And so who knows? And let's face it, before this, if you were to watch the news, it was mostly bad news. So I think you need to identify how much time is healthy for you personally to be able to digest bad news, and limit that if you can.
Absolutely. Well, that's good advice. Definitely going to think about that. Really excited about the new album coming out on Friday. Thank you for doing this, and looking forward to your upcoming streams. Who did you say you have on, like, coming next week?
Well, this Thursday I'm talking to Mike McCready from Pearl Jam, so I'm really excited about
cool.
that. And then I'm supposed to do something with Rivers Cuomo on his Zoom deal that he's been doing, so that'll be cool. And then I'm talking to Matt Pinfield this week as well. And for those who don't know, he's just a legend of our youth, rock and roll historian kind of guy. He knows every band. He remembers every band's first band and everything in between. So he's been really cool. But next week is Connor from Nothing But Thieves, Samir from Young the Giant. We just talked, so we're gonna talk next week as well. Kay Flay and Brandon Boyd. That's awesome. Who's on. And all totally different, so it'll be fun to get different perspectives for sure.
Aaron, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, and looking forward to the album on Friday.
Thank you very much. Take care.
All right. Bye. Aaron.